What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be checking out MSTR, Bitcoin, and a little bit of Coinbase today. So we're just going to be comparing all three of them and kind of just running through the charts really quick. So on MSTR, we closed the week and the month at 269.51. Currently in the overnight market, it's sitting at 266, so it's down a little bit more, of course, because Bitcoin's down a little bit. But that is the lowest monthly close that we've seen since February 2025. So about 8 months. 8 months out, that's the lowest one that we've seen so far in this 8-month period. We are kind of just creating this downward sloping trend line that we've already talked about. We'll see if we actually make some kind of push up and retest that, or if we just continue to fall off. And then if that were to happen, then that would look more similar to this 2021 double top that we already spoke about. And if it is going to mirror this move, which we've already talked about, it is already going to continue to play out. And that means that we will more than likely not see that touch of this trend line. Now, of course, we'd like to see a nice move like that, because that means Bitcoin's running up and crypto and just risk on assets in general. If it plays out like this, then of course we won't be seeing something like that. Like I said before, this move was a pretty large drawdown, about 90%. Obviously the market cap's a lot larger now, so if we were to see something similar, maybe we get a 75, maybe an 80% drop, and that would be your time to accumulate for the next cycle. And that's where I have this gray bar drawn out. And if you take a look here at this fib here, that would line up with the 786, which is the second to last line in the sand. This is the last one really, and you'd be landing at the 786, which is a major discount off of this entire move here, and that would probably be a great opportunity to accumulate. And we're currently sitting at the 0.5 of 618, which is a magnet for price. And that's kind of where we're sitting. But if we were to lose this 0.5 of 618, this entire zone here, and use this as a ceiling, then it would more than likely play out where we touch the 786. And like I said, that would be the ultimate accumulation zone for the next cycle. And I think we touch this if we see a crypto bear market. Bitcoin kind of falls out from this point on. But we'll be monitoring it. It could take time for this thing to play out, several months, because the crypto cycles run in 4-year intervals. So the last bear market that we saw was 22. So if we see one in 26, not saying it's going to happen, but if we were to see a bear, then I would imagine that we could see that mark here, and that could potentially be the bottom for the entire cycle. And then, like I said, you can see a massive run up like we've seen over here. From the bottom here, it was a insane 4,000% move. Not saying that that's going to happen again, but let's say we do, I don't know, maybe half of that. This is just pure speculation. We don't even know if we're going to make it down here. But if we do, let's say 786, 2,000%. Take you to 2,700 if that were to play out again, and that would be an insane move to see. On the bullish side, you do have the 20-month SMA underneath price, so we did close back above it. Still, we pushed underneath and we closed above it, so we'll see if that can act as a trampoline to support price for a higher push up. And on the weekly, we're still well underneath, and on the daily, practically the same thing. So really, you want to be watching this monthly 20 moving average, because this could be acting as a floor or a ceiling depending on the price action coming up, and that could be a determining factor as to where price goes from this point on, if we use this as a ceiling or as a floor. And now we're going to do a quick comparison here from this July top here, the secondary top, I would say, the double top. MSTR dropped a total of 44% and is currently down 41% from that peak. Bitcoin in that same period we're going to go from that July 1st top. It's currently down 12%, and it actually made two new highs after that point, which of course MSTR did not do. And Coinbase from that July 1st top, we are down 22%, and we made it down to around 34%. So that's kind of the comparison there. And I'm going to turn Bitcoin into a line chart. So we see Bitcoin here. And then I'm going to compare Coinbase. So you can see Coinbase is this one up here. It's a little bit lighter. They're both blue, so it's kind of tough to see. But you can see how they both line up relatively close. So it seems like Coinbase has really been following Bitcoin, not to a T, but pretty close. I mean, the same structure here. You can see this structure being formed on this downturn. You had the run up, then a double top. You had a deep retracement, a rally, and now, Bitcoin's creating a minor double top, and it looks like Coinbase could be trying to create the same thing as it continues to follow in Bitcoin steps. And then we're going to do the same thing for MSTR and see. So MSTR, was tracking very well, doing the exact same thing, had the run up, the double top, and then this is where we've kind of just lost touch here. This last double top that we saw in MSTR lines up with Bitcoin's double top, but has just absolutely fallen almost back to this valley here. You can see it's almost lined up equal to that, just slightly higher at the moment. And then when you see Bitcoins, you're talking about, if let's see, I'm gonna try and see, it's sitting at, or actually I'll try and line it up here. So let's see if these are perfectly lined up almost. So that would be 82,000, right? That means Bitcoin would be at 85,600 if it followed MSTR's exact move, just based off of this line chart. It's not even perfectly lined up. I get it, but that's kind of the reference. You can see that it's just a couple percentage points from this bottom piece right here, where Bitcoin was sitting at 82.5. That means Bitcoin would be around 85,000 if it did the exact same move as MSTR. So it's pretty interesting to see how Coinbase and MSTR have been tracking, and then just in this most recent price action is completely deviated and done its own thing, and just really started to look like this 2021 move. Like I said, we'll see if it ends up playing out, but it looks very, very similar, and you cannot deny it even if you want to. And here on Bitcoin, kind of just trending sideways. The month is starting out a little red at the moment. We had a little push up, rejected, pushing back down. But this is a major level of support, so I kind of expect some kind of move back up, some kind of fight before we see any kind of downside. It's possible that we fall through, but this should be a major level of support here. So we'll see if we can get a nice green candle. Ideally, on the monthly, we want to see a close above 116 or higher. That's going to be the best bet right there. And when we take a look at the SMAs here on the weekly, we're still in between the 20 and the 50. We fell underneath the 20 after falling off of this upward sloping trend line. So we need to reclaim that. And on the daily, we are underneath our 200, which is not a good sign. If we get a close here, hopefully we get a nice spike to the upside. But if we get a close here, look for some kind of retest of the 200 and a continuation down. Yeah, but right now we are holding some kind of a upward, sloping action right there. So We'll see if we break that and continue to the downside, but right now it's still short-term bullish. This small piece right here is bullish, so we'll see if it continues. And if we pull a fib here from this bottom to here, then we're sitting slightly underneath the 0.5 to 618, the golden zone. So we'll see if we can use that as a nice little floor to push to higher levels. Coinbase has been looking pretty solid. We were talking about accumulating here at this zone rate that we drew out here because it was the 0.5 to 618 golden zone, key level for a reversal. And that's exactly what we got. We were talking about this being some kind of a top before it occurred because of the two previous tops that we've had, and that served to be correct there on that move. And like I said, the 0.5 to 618 golden zone, it's a magnet for price. It came down. This is an ideal zone to accumulate, which we were talking about in the Discord at the time, and it played out pretty well. I'll see if I can actually throw up a picture so you can see. But yeah, this is a accumulation zone right there. You had a pretty nice move off of there. If you were to, buy at the exact bottom, which isn't ideal, but it could happen. That was a 37% move there. But this channel has been playing out pretty well. We are finding support and resistance off of these midlines here. When you line that up, it was support acting as resistance. Again, now it's acting as support and pushing price higher. So if we were to lose this trend line, then we can start talking about lower levels. But at the moment, you have a major zone here, you have a golden zone, and an upward sloping trend line at the midline. So that's a lot of support to the upside. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted on everything here, but that was a quick comparison between the three. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.